Hello and welcome to Learn Data. It's great to have you on this channel. I'm Nilesh, and in this video we'll continue to learn more about Pandas and GroupBy. This is a concluding video on GroupBy. So we'll be talking about regrouping factors with GroupBy. We'll look at how we can use multi-column factors with GroupBy, and finally how to use index to resample data using GroupBy. So let's get into Jupyter Notebook and start coding. Here I've already imported two libraries, NumPy and Pandas, and we are going to use the same data frame from previous videos, the fruits data frame, for this video as well. So first let's look at regrouping by factors. And for this, the data frame we have is df, this one. What we'll do is we'll select the column Q, price and quantity for this section. So we'll save that in the data frame df1, df, and we'll use the Q, price, and then quantity dot copy df1. So in this data frame now, again we do not need the entire data frame. All we need is let's select just the first three rows. So I'm gonna select df1 dot alloc. We'll go ahead and select 0 to 3, and okay. Now there's one more thing we need to do with this data frame before we can use it, and it is changing the values within the data frame. Probably it would have been easier to create just a new data frame, but anyways, we'll change the value for the Q to, let's say, 226, then df1 dot price to, let's say, 10, 0 and 10. The reason why I'm doing that will become clear when we write the code. Quantity is equal to 1, 1, 9 and 10. So the data frame we are going to work with is actually going to be this one with oh well, why we do have that. Let's run this again. Okay, we have Q, price and quantity. Now what we are going to do is a unique way of grouping our data set. We are going to first take the sum of all the columns within the data frame, and if the sum of two columns is the same, then we'll use those two columns as being in the same group. So what I mean by that is, for df1.sum, if we get the sum of this, we get 10, 20, 20. So the column Q is a separate group because it has a sum of 10, but then price and quantity, both of these columns have a sum of 20, and therefore we are going to consider them as belonging to the same group, and therefore in the output we'll have a column for group which would be labeled 10, and the other group would be labeled 20. Okay, so to run this, what we are going to do is type df1.groupby, and now the GroupBy is based on sum, so we are going to specify df1.sum, and axis is equal to 1 because we are taking the counts along that axis, and then we specify sum. So as you can see, we have two columns, for one for each group, 10 and 20, and then the values within it for column 10 are as is 2, 2 and 6. However, the values in the column price and quantity, they are added together because we are using sum. Therefore 10 plus 1 is 11, and we have 11 here, and so on for the other rows within that data frame. So that's how we can use we can regroup the data within a data frame using GroupBy. Moving on, let's look at how we can use multi-column factorization. So multi-column factorization. Now for this we are going to use 3 columns. So we'll use fruits, grade and q. So df1 dot group by, and we'll group by based on fruits, grade and q. And now we'll use the familiar ngroup that we saw in the previous videos, and here we have the output. Now the difference between what we had in the previous video and here is that in this case we are using more than one column. So let's use df, so we have substantial data there. So as you can see, what has happened here is if we use just fruits, let's do that. If we use just fruits, we get 3 groups, 0, 1 and 2. Okay. However, if we use more than one group, for example 3 in this case, we get a lot many groups up to 7. And the reason is because now each group is a combination of 3 groups. So there are several unique combinations, and each of those unique combinations is assigned a separate unique number. For example, if you look at mango, a and 1, so how many times does that occur? Mango, a and 1, so it occurs second time here, so it occurs 2 times. So that is there. Now first let's look at b, banana. So we have banana a1 that occurs only once, and therefore we just have 1 0. Now banana a2 occurs here, and that's it. So the next group is assigned value of 1. However, if you look at couple other things, so if you look at this number 3, that is mango a1, and the reason why 3 appears at index 0 and index 5 is because mango a1 combination appears at index 0 and index 5. Similarly, if you look at index 2 and 3, we have the number 5 assigned to them, and that is because we have orange a1, and the combination repeats twice within the data frame, and therefore we have the number 5 repeating in the output as well. So that was one way to use multiple columns for creating factors using GroupBy. In addition to this, we can also manually provide the categories. For example, what I mean by that is if we have df, let's use df.GroupBy, and here if we just use fruits column as one of the columns, and then for the second column I'm gonna give it numbers. So 0 0 0 0 0, so 5 zeros, and then 1 1 1, so 1. So the reason why it's 9 is because we have 9 rows here. And after that I'm going to use the ngroup and run this unhashable type list. So let's see what did I miss here. Correct, so this has to be in. Okay, so fruits, this, okay, sorry about that. So we now have one bracket there. Okay, this should work. Okay, now here what has happened is let's pull the group fruits. So df dot fruits. Now the first this is assigned sequentially, so we have 0 assigned to mango, then the second 0 assigned to mango, third 0 assigned to orange, and then fourth 0 assigned to orange as well. And therefore when we are looking at combinations, we are looking at a combination of mango and the number 0, mango and the number 1, mango and number 0 again, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the last columns, we are looking at banana and number 1, banana, and number 2, which are these two. And therefore the groups that are assigned accordingly. So we have number 2 assigned to the first two combination, mango 0, mango 0, and then the 4 is assigned to orange 0, orange 0, and so on and so forth. So the very first number, however, is assigned to index 4, and I'm guessing that's because banana is alphabetically, it is occurring first, and therefore that is also the second value is 0. So that's possibly because why that is assigned the value of 0 in group. Now moving on, let's look at how we can resample a data set. And this resampling is using indices. So the data frame that we have is this, and it has the index which runs from 0 through 8. What we could do is if we divide, let's say if we divide the index and get the output. So here what we have is this is floor division. So if we divide 5 divided by 2, we get 2.5, but if we divide 5 by doubles backslash 2, we just get 2 instead of 2.5. So we are doing a floor division, and therefore in here what we get is 0 0 0, that is the first group, 1 1 1 is the next group, and 2 2 2 is the next group. So that's another interesting way to group the entire data set. So here we are essentially can assign these first 3 rows a group 0, then the next 3 rows which are right here a value of 1, and the last 3 rows value of 2 for the group. And we can try to do that with the data frame that we have. So df will use the price, and then we'll use the quantity. So those are the two that are numeric, and we are going to group by df.index, and let's divide this by 3. So if we assign this to a variable g and look at the groups that are created, g.groups, here we can see that we created 3 groups, 0 1 and 2, and the group 0 has the rows with indices 0 1 and 2. So 0 1 and 2. Similarly, the last group 2 has indices 6 7 8, which is last 3 6 7 8. So now to this group we can apply any function. So let's say g.mean. If you take the mean, now we get the output. So for price, which is the second last column, we have 2 11 and 13. So if we add those, if we try 2 plus 11 plus 13 divided by 3, we get 8.666, and that's what we have right here for the price. So that's one way where we can use groups along with the index floor division to assign group values and then calculate any statistics that we need for that subset of data. Moving on, let's now look at a custom function. We have talked about this previously, but this is just a slightly different approach to that. So we will go ahead and create a new function. Let's say calc, and it's going to take input g. and here we are going to create this dictionary which has price underscore sum, which is the column name that's going to be returned, and here we have the price dot sum. So whatever group comes in, the price column for that group is total to sum. And then we have another quantity underscore sum. Now we are going to get the quantity here and get the, let's take mean. So we are looking at different statistics for each of those columns, and the output of that we can return this as a series, and we'll name the series as calculated matrix. So that's the function we have. Now we can use that. So calculated matrix, a variable we are creating, dot d is equal to df.GroupBy, and within this we are going to use the column fruits for grouping, and then our familiar apply function, to which we supply the name of the function calc. So when we run this, and when we look at calc underscore matrix, we see the output where we have for each of the groups, we have calculated the price, the sum of the price, which is 27 for banana, and we can check if that makes sense by looking at the data frame. We have banana right here, so 3 plus 13, which is 14, and 14 plus 13 is 27. So that's what we get in the output right here. And similar to what we have seen in previous video, we can use stacking to change the look of this. So if we use calc underscore matrix, and if we stack this, what we are doing is we are putting the price and sum from columns to a row index. And let's run this. So here now we can see that for banana, the price sum is 27, and I should have changed this should actually be mean. Okay, and the quantity mean is 4 right here. So that was it for this video, and also the section of GroupBy in Pandas. I hope you learned a lot about how to manipulate the data using the GroupBy and different functionalities that can be used along with the GroupBy. And it's most commonly used function. I've used it a lot for handling different types of data sets. This could be in data cleaning stages or in final analysis stages. And GroupBy is also, the logic is similar when we are using SQL. So this could help you understand coding in SQL as well. So GroupBy is really important topic. So that was it for this video. I hope to see you all in the next video. Please like, share, and click the bell icon below to subscribe. Thank you.